What's going on, peoples? Al York Sports with another one, man. NFL Conference Championship games. Wow. I'm going to start off real quick. Let me start getting. This is called Ride With Me, man, because I'm going to take off and I'm going to continue to holler at y'all as I'm riding. We're going to start off yesterday at Philadelphia after 13-4 San Francisco 49ers faced the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles. The line was minus 2.5 for the Eagles, 45.5. Now, it was a game that was supposed to be a war. But once Brock Purdy went down with that elbow injury, when Reddish blitzed him and he didn't see him, and Reddish got out his arm, as you seen, he hyperextended something in the elbow. Something happened where he couldn't grip the ball. And as you seen, when he came back in the game, they had him throwing little dink and dunks and handoffs because he could not grip the ball to throw it. And they had to go, he's their third string. They had to go to their fourth string and B. Johnson, and then he left with a concussion. So Frisco had no fighting chance. Philly went up 7-zip. Frisco tied it. Then them injuries took place, and that's all she wrote. San Francisco was lacking. They were lacking big time. And when you lacking, it's hard to win a game of that magnitude, especially in a conference championship game, because you're playing the best of the best. So if you lose one of your main mans, especially at quarterback, or let's say a defensive lineman that puts pressure, you basically in trouble. And once Brock Purdy went down, it was over for Frisco. It definitely was. Now, you know what? I'm gonna do this show without giving numbers because I gotta get dry. I gotta get going. But we're gonna continue the video. Now, like I said, Frisco would have made this a game. They got the number one defense versus the number one offense, and I felt this game should have been something like 2016 final, maybe 23-17. I know for sure Frisco punches the ball in the end zone a couple of times with that offense that they got. Brock Purdy or Jimmy G or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not Johnson. Johnson, they forced three. Johnson didn't even know the plays, guys. Let's keep it 100. He didn't even know the plays. So, one thing that I didn't understand, I did a lot of reading up with Frisco. I had them on a future bet. I don't know what I read up, but I know I read up a few things that said that Jimmy G should have been available after the first week of the playoffs. So I'm not saying that they needed him, that he should have started, no. But it would have been great to know that anything, that go wrong with Brock Purdy, whether a bad game, injury, etc., you have Jimmy G to go to. And that wasn't the case, obviously. And I'm not here to point no fingers. Salute to the Philadelphia Eagles that played a hell of a game, who showed that they belong in a Super Bowl with the dominations of, the last 3 weeks of football, how they just dominated the league. Early in the year, they dominated a lot of people. Now, people might say strength of scheduling wasn't all that for the Eagles. I'm not going to go there. I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm not going to go there. They beat whoever you put in front of them, and they beat them kind of hard. They had a couple close games, but who didn't? Who didn't? You got KC and the Chip. They lost, a few games. They had a lot of close games, so you can't knock them for strength of scheduling, etc. But one thing I did not like, and I know a lot of people are going to think I'm reaching with this, and I promise you I'm not reaching. One of the guys, Sergio, on my page said, because I had posted Jimmy G smiling. Now, I get what Sergio's saying. He said, Al, he ain't smiling because they losing. They reaching. But I'm going to tell you one thing, bro. My cloth is different. I'm from the old school. What the fuck are you smiling about? That's my shit. I'm not saying you laughing at your team. I know Jimmy G know better because Fred Warner and them would step on his fucking neck if he's out there laughing at that squad. There's no way he's laughing at them. But to me is, what can possibly be that funny that you're laughing on the sidelines while your team is getting whooped. Whooped. What could be so funny? What, that you stealing money? Jimmy G got to go. I'm not a Niner fan, but he remind me of Johnny Damon with the Yankees. Well, I remember the Yankees were losing 8-1 to the Tigers in the disqualification game, and Johnny Damon's laughing in the dugout. I don't do that laughing shit. Maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. Yo, Al, you old school, today's little man. Fuck all that. Ain't nothing to be laughing about, dog. Especially with you not being suited up, dog. Especially with you not being suited up. So, like I said, I'm not blaming Jimmy G for their loss. But he shouldn't have been smiling. That's a disrespect to the organization, the team. I don't care what he was laughing about. There's nothing it's nothing that funny that he should have been laughing at that moment. Especially with 0 contributions and he's stealing money. Because whatever happened to him being ready in the beginning of the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? So, that's my beef there. But the 49ers, like I said, they had a great season. That's not my team. That's why I took them. C-Mac, God bless C-Mac for all the contributions he brought to that team coming out of Carolina. They had a great season, Debo, and that's why I thought they had enough to do it. But when your quarterback goes down, your third quarterback, because he's definitely behind Lance and Jimmy G. So Brock Purdy was their third quarterback, 7th round pick selection. You know, to go this far, I got to give major salute to the 49ers, man. And keep your heads up, man. Let me let this traffic go by here because I'm wilding out right now. Give me a minute, guys. Yeah, so bottom line, the Eagles whooped them up 31-7 at the Vet. And the Eagles are proven to be a real good team, man. The Eagles are for real, man. I don't care what nobody say. Salute to the Eagles. Let's go to the next game, which was a very also intriguing game. 12-4 Cincinnati Bengals, 14-3 Kansas City Chiefs. The line was the Chiefs -1.5, 48.5. I called this game. If y'all seen the video, I said that the Chiefs would come out early, you know, win the first half, gave that out, and if they don't keep their foot on the pedal and let somehow Joe Burrow stay in the game, that Joe Burrow is either going to steal the game or come close to stealing it. And that's exactly what happened. Chiefs had many opportunities to extend this lead, especially when they got that second pick off Joe Burrow, and they did nothing with it. They ain't scored not even a field goal, and even a field goal would have loomed huge in that situation. Close game, 23-20. KC won on a field goal by Buckner late. But my thing is, Cincinnati Bengals are a team to be reckoned with. They went to a Super Bowl last year, lost to the championship conference game this year. But Joe Burrow, slowly but surely, is becoming the best quarterback in the NFL. I still got him behind Patrick Mahomes. But Burrow's touch out there is impeccable. Now, his offensive line let him down, but how can you say let them down when they were losing 3 starters from that line? And I knew eventually, this is also what I said on Friday's video, was that they would get exposed once they get a line that can pass rush. And you see Chris Jones going nut yesterday. What he had, 3-4 sacks, constant pressure on Joe B. I mean, Chris Jones single-handed defensively won the game for the Kansas City Chiefs, especially on that last drive. On that last drive from Cincinnati, where KC was able to get the ball back and score. So this is a good game. This should be a great battle between these two teams for many years, with a young Joe Burrow, a young Patrick Mahomes. I don't think you've seen the end of the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Bengals, like I said, they did everything they could. Now, where the Bengals messed up at, if you ask me, you gave a veteran team chalkboard material. When you start talking shit about Burrowhead instead of Arrowhead, that, you know, you ain't scared of these guys. You got your fans, you know what I mean? You got your fans talking a lot of smack. Like I said, they messed up when they gave the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, stuff to talk about in the locker room, which is called chalkboard material. Now, what I can't say is they still could have won the game and stole the game late. They still could have done that. I mean, realistically, they could have done that. And they actually were doing it. Especially when Burrow completed that 3rd and 16 from his own 8 with like a minute and a half left. I said, here we go again. He's going to lead them down, and Money McPherson's going to win this shit. You know what I mean? But that didn't happen. They got to stop. Mahomes and company got the ball. Mahomes and company moved the ball into field goal range, and bucked up with that big old leg he got, won the game late. In a great game, 23-20 in Arrowhead Stadium. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes both lit up the stat sheet. Burrow had over 200 yards passing, over 20 completions, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And Mahomes had almost 30 completions, 300 plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Salute to the Kansas City Chiefs, who move on to their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years with 1 victory. So now you get the Super Bowl that a lot of people anticipated. I wouldn't say I anticipated it, because I would have liked to see the 49ers in there. But you get the 14-3 Kansas City Chiefs versus the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles. You get Andy Reid's ex-team, who he leads with wins in that organization. And now with Kansas City, if he wins the Super Bowl, he'll have the most wins in Kansas City. That's amazing. That's a Hall of Fame coach. And I remember I had a dude that lived in Brooklyn that moved to Vegas. Big Eagle fan. Let him rest in peace. His name is Harry. Harry used to say that Andy Reid was terrible. Because, you know, one thing about Reid in Philadelphia, if y'all remember, he was bad with the timeouts. He did not know how to utilize his timeouts. That killed Andy Reid. Not utilizing his timeouts in correct form. But he fixed all that. Now you got, like I said, you got an old made-up team. You got a team in Philadelphia that are huge in the trenches. That's what Andy Reid built in Philly. Andy Reid wasn't really didn't have no real playmakers. He had Donovan McNabb. He had Westbrook, the running back. And then eventually he picked up T.O. That's when they went to the chip. But Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles were built on the offensive and defensive line. And right now, what the Philadelphia Eagles have is that they got huge bodies on both sides who are game changers. I mean, these guys make plays, lead the league in sacks, put the most pressure. Slay's nice in the corner. Reddish is nice. I mean, these guys are no joke. And they got playmakers in Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, they got their guys, man. They got Gainesville's running back, Scott, Samuel. I mean, these guys, they run in commission, you know, a party of 3. They don't really got what you call a real bruiser, but they got a committee of 3 that all of them do their part, and they run the hell out the ball with that zone read with Jalen Hurts. And this team, I'm telling you, is Super Bowl bound. Remember, Jalen Hurts went to the chip with Bama, with the Sooners, and now with the Eagles. He ain't new to this chip shit. I know that the NFL is different. I get it. But he's been in chips before. Nothing faces Jalen Hurts. Nothing. Now, is he a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? Of course not. But can he stay close to Mahomes, meaning like, you know, if Mahomes got 3 touchdowns, Hurts could get 2. Mahomes rushes for 40 yards, Hurts probably could run for 40 yards as much. Mahomes throw over 300, Hurts to throw over 200. He's not going to match him on the numbers, but he can do enough to win this ball game, especially if they defense step up. Big Super Bowl game in State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. And the line is the Eagles are -2. 49.5 is the totals. And that line opened up at a pick'em. As soon as that line opened up with a pick'em, a lot of Eagle money came and moved that line to 2. So that means right now in the beginning, it's 2 weeks away the Super Bowl. A lot of money's coming in right now on the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's crazy because if you did a bet earlier in the year, the AFC was favorite. It didn't matter who came out the AFC. They had a line of AFC -3 or 3.5 versus the NFC. But the Eagles looked so fucking impressive, dominating everything in front of them, that people are just saying, you know what, these guys are going to win it all, man. And like I said, the Super Bowl is in 2 weeks. You know we're going to talk about it on my show this Friday and the Friday after, right before Super Bowl Sunday. Make sure y'all tune in to open sessions and giveaways as me and my team are going to break this Super Bowl down to the smallest molecules that you can break a game down. On some Steve Sable shit. We're going to break this shit down. So make sure y'all tune in. Al York Sports. Shout out to all the viewers. Shout out to all my peoples. Shout out to Price Tag Entertainment. Shout out to ilovemoney.com. Shout out to everybody, man. My wife, my loved ones, my siblings. I love y'all all, man. Al York Sports. The raw truth. Come ride with me, man.